option.
Hey, I like carrot cake. Carrot cake's made well. It's good.
Oh yeah.
A cream cheese
right.
icing on it. Oh, so good.
Yeah, if you do it right, it's wicked good. All right, so we are. Hey, there's the Rye guy.
Oh,
We're just about ready to jump in.
Here.
It's about time you get on here, you drunk Welshman.
Oh, shush. Just playing with what you guys call alcohol here in the States.
All right. So for the discussion, that was so you guys just want to recap. Who wants to recap the discussions that happened?
Well, I picked through it, and I think the way Bob was really there was a lot of just long-winded insanity and stuff that I wasn't there for.
Which is why Kate walked away.
I think the course of action that was on one of those threads that Bob just said, yes, that's the course of action we'd like to do. The one that said going back to the old stomping grounds. Let me see if I can find that. Apparently, there's a dude named Amos that may or may not be still alive that has a parent that's in the Summerlands, and that's the closest link that we have.
Yeah. So
that's true. Did I get it?
No, almost. Anybody else want to put any additions on that and what they were able to surmise from the discussions in the Stagecoach?
Well, I mean, from what I read, and if I'm recalling it correctly, he's dead. His wife and kids are dead because they found the wolves chewing on their bodies.
So Amos Truth Talker was on season 1, episode 1, and actually none of you were actually playing at that time. It was the entire episode kind of started off as a murder mystery in a way, where the Sept Leader was murdered, and it turns out a lot later it ended up being the Killian brothers, who were dispatched midway through season 1. So there's the avenging of his death is not even what happened a long before that. So he was sent, and nobody knows why, because he was kind of very didn't talk very much about his past very much, but you knew that he was a really good leader. And the very fact that you had a Child of Gaia as a Sept leading a Sept of a group of a cairn that comprised of a mismatch of different tribes. As we said, is that having a cairn that has people from multiple tribes is extremely, extremely rare. Like, you can count them all on one hand worldwide.
Kumbaya.
There was no need. There wasn't any need of it. Now, if you guys ever play the game like a modern version of Werewolf, it's rare to find a cairn that doesn't have multiple tribes in it, because cairns are so rare at this point, and the need of other tribes to work together is just paramount in order to prevent the apocalypse. But in Wild West, it's rare to see that. So having a Child of Gaia lead the cairn just was a natural thing to happen. And he left, and as Francesca said, that she remembered that he went off to meet his mother for something, and that's what she knew. He didn't tell anybody else what he was doing, because Francesca was part of the same tribe as him. And he said it was something of great importance, and you guys knew that he was off to try to get some sort of powerful artifact, or as that's what he said. Later you all determined, when you showed up, to notice that his wagon was ransacked and his body was you found him decapitated and killed, and along with his wife and a couple of his kids. You noted that you did find out that the artifact that you thought was the same one of those Grecian statuettes that you later found out last season that held Madame Givens and arrows that Madame Givens had. You also found out that there was a small there was a false bottom in the wagon that actually is where you found a pup, a lupus pup that turned out to be initially thought it was kinfolk. Turns out that it was actually a Child of Gaia lupus, Garu.
And that's the one Shitterwolf took care of?
Yeah, that's the one Shitterwolf took care of in Sunny Hill. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you just for Ryan and Mark, who weren't playing last season. This was basically the map of the county where Harrowgate was, and Harrowgate Devil's Edge Mine is where the that's where the body was. That's the Killian brothers were the ones that killed Amos and Sag. Remember, the Devil's Edge Mine is also where the Harrowgate was.
Oh, okay, yeah,
it was inside that mine. And Gold Springs last year is where the last season took place. Was in the human town there. Sunny Hill is where you guys are going today. It is where the Child of Gaia Sept is.
Is that where Francesca was from originally?
Is where who?
Is that where Francesca was from originally?
No, she's been part of Harrowgate. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if Sunny Hill was one of the supporting Karens or something like that.
No, it's too close. It's not one of the supporting ones.
Okay.
Yeah. And Blackstone, it was the Wendigo tribe where Sacred Ghost is from.
Yeah, you mentioned something about Sacred Ghost. Is that our other guy?
That's the guy that Dale Chaska was talking about. He was the guy, since you don't know of any other Wendigo, he's the one that's offering to become that legend. He's very high. He's a very high elder now. Okay. He doesn't have the renown to be a legend yet, but he told Chaska to have him come with you when you guys go to to find a black spiral.
Yeah, if we're gonna be there.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was reading some old things from older seasons. I thought he was an enemy. Is that
he
not
was?
True anymore?
He was. Yeah.
You made friends?
Yeah. Yeah. Near the end of season 1, he actually ended up becoming allies because he was allied with Madame Givens.
Oh, wait a minute. That was the Wendigo. That's a Wendigo Karen, right?
Correct.
Oh yeah. I've been there. I've met him. That's where I bought those two second rank initiates.
Correct.
And annihilated them.
Yeah. So the caveat is that the only Child of Gaia legend that you know of, there could be more. As one of the questions that came up, there could be more, but the one that you know of is Amos's the dead Sept Leader from 7 or 8 years ago now in game world time. That's his mother.
Okay.
The woman he was going to visit, and now she's the one that's in Summer Country.
All right.
And I get
a grasp of it now.
Yeah, and as you all know, he went to go visit her and came back, and he was coming back. Came back, and she was on his way back is when he got killed. All right, is everybody all caught? Everything kind of clicking? Okay. All right. So all of you, the stagecoach, any plans? Anybody's gonna and I gotta be on. I just, as I say, is that I have no idea how this session's gonna go. You are all in the driver's seat, so I'm thinking it's gonna be a role play heavy game. I'm not expecting any. The people that I will be running will not be expecting any fights, but I don't know what you guys are gonna do.
We brought some bruisers with us tonight.
So with that said, before the stagecoach approaches Sunny Hill, is anybody going to be doing any gifts? Anybody doing any rites? Anything you guys want to do ahead of time before you go in? Keep in mind, Sunny Hill is a Child of Gaia Sept, and it's directly south of Gold Springs.
I ask any of the legends that we have on board. They know who Madam Gibbons is, right?
No, they've heard some. The only one who's her Caboose Batoon and Seeking Path have heard of her.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just say to them, whoever is good at hiding things the most, when we pull up, you need to hide, because we've been dodging the owls, right?
Yeah.
Not that, this is the last place that we saw her. Not that she's hanging around here, I imagine, but let's be a little extra careful.
So what do they know about her, by the way? If they've heard of her, do they have any extra intelligence about what the hell she is?
Seeking Path states that he knows that he is. He says that he knows that he's allied very closely with the Black Furies, and the Black Furies treat her almost as if she is a living god, basically, almost like a demigod. There's a strong group of them that actually revere her, and as I say, she reeks of the wild. She's the only thing that smells more of the wild would be, if you're like 1,000 miles away from anything technological, out in the middle of, like, say, the highest of the deepest part of the the Canadian wilderness, would be the equivalent of that smell. Caboose Batoon states that he said that he's heard stories about her with a wink and a blink has turned men's skin inside out, and she knows that she has no love lost for any male figures, and that could be a reason why there is no and specifically Geta Fenris and Silver Fangs. She has a pretty long-standing hatred with.
Well, Caboose, you seem pretty good at illusion, right?
Yeah. What do you need me to do?
Well, she probably isn't looking for a place that's thrush full of the wild. We have that wild spirit that's on board here. Why don't we just blend into the nature of things? I think that might keep us off the radar.
Roll your perception alertness, Sag. Difficulty of a 7.
Of a 7?
Yeah. Okay. The other 3 guys, roll your perception alertness, difficulty of an 8.
Oh, I want to warn you guys, the last 2 mage games I played, I got a total of like 10 paradox. I botched probably about 7 or 8 times. It is a really bad 2 weeks for me. So don't count on anything from me tonight.
We never do.
But just wit and intelligence. that gets us through.
2 successes. All right.
Sorry. Wait, this is 7?
For
8.
you,
For
8.
us.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's rolling his 3 dice.
5.
All right. So you two John, don't worry about the botch. It's not gonna. What?
All right, I
I thought say John. I think just because that you're not even.
It's like a passive botch. It's like
So Kate and RB, you notice that every time Caboose Spittoon is in the same room with Bowery Bob, he takes a particular shining to Bob, as in not like any like romantic thing, but almost like, and every time Bob talks to him or says something, Caboose kind of perks up like he's listening to it would be the equivalent to, you know,
a fanboy.
Watching, I would say, like, so for you, for Mark, it's like watching your son talk for the first time, Ryan, you know, or like Ryan, it's like the equivalent of like, you know, like maybe watching that your pet do that trick you've been constantly trying to teach them, and they finally do it on their own, or
pride.
There's a sense of pride to it, but it's but pride, I guess, but not so much like it's actually your doing, almost like you're like the uncle of it, you know, like it's like watching your nephew or niece talk for the first time, or watching something happen that they do that you didn't actually invest any of your own specific time in, but somebody close to that happened. So you see that look in Caboose's eye when he kind of like always looks towards Bob, not as in a leadership, but almost like as a an absentee uncle kind of connects to almost.
All right, I'll note it, but I won't say anything.
Yeah. It's because I made it out. I made it out of Bowery. Barney, are we recording? Prosperity.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah, we're recording.
Okay, I didn't see it in the.
Yeah.
I only got half screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Bob's already had a surprise father plot line, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we're both from New York.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, and all right, so you said that. So you said that in Bowery Caboose Spittoon says, yeah, that's I'm happy to help you out with that one there, buddy. And you notice that he calls you a different nickname every time you ask him something.
It's even more weird because, like, I was attracted to his form when he was a lady. Maybe he knew that.
You weren't very subtle about it.
I wasn't. Actually, I was completely baffled. I thought that was
He's called you daughter one time. He's called you captain. He's called you Francisco one time, which was completely just out of the blue. He's called you, basically, he's actually kind of made it a point not to actually call you by your name.
Though, you know, really, realistically speaking, Kate was mildly offended, almost considering shooting you in the foot, considering her appearance, and you're saying this other woman's the best looking Gary you've ever seen.
Yeah, technically Kate is probably... Yeah.
5 appearance. You're saying someone else is better looking. Like,
don't forget your pure breed in there too, man.
Yeah, with the 5 pure breed, that's true.
Yeah, of course, he's met
us. What does he give a shit about pure breed?
Hey, we like what we like. Bob also has a reasonable Yeah, he thinks that maybe he thinks you're out of reach.
Yeah, you're pretty. Yeah. Kate, you have actually no qualms whatsoever that the Metis doesn't find you with the most pure breed that you could possibly be. That
well, I guess that's true.
And yeah, in all frankness, he is way under you. You're yeah,
but not the butler of old Billy, right?
No, he has a high appearance.
Well, that's just doing your job.
All right. You guys have arrived at the outskirts, and they all kind of say the same thing, that with all of us together it'd make more sense for us not to. And then since there's rank 6 is being hunted, that they're all going to kind of stay inside the stagecoach. And Caboose Batoon honors the fact of hiding it, and he says, "We will. I'll put a timer on it, and we'll pop up again in about 48 hours."
How's Hearthstone been since he got pretty anally raped by the friggin' Iron Riders?
No, he's fine. Yeah. No, you keep in mind now. This is what the last event. We are now. We're about 3 months past that right now for travel and stuff like that.
Long enough for me to learn Russian. It's got to be a long time.
Yeah. Could be. Yeah. How many? How many dots in Russian do you want? How many dots? How many do you have any dots in Russian yet?
Well, isn't it just one linguistics dot?
Yeah, and you can just kind of assign it to Russian. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought I was going to do.
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah. And
I would be learning that too, but slower. I spent my experience last. Well, I guess I could afford it, but I'm going to build up again. There's one more big gift I want.
Okay.
It's my third linguistic point, if that was what you were asking.
It's your third point?
My third linguistics point, yeah.
What are your other 2 languages besides English?
Spanish and French. Pretty easy for a European person.
Yeah. So
I have Spanish and Sioux.
Sioux. Ooh.
I'm French and Mandarin.
Bowery Rob knows Mandarin?
He's a railroad tycoon.
Ah.
I figured that's a go-to language for that.
Is Mandarin the more common one, or is it Cantonese?
Mandarin. Yeah, Cantonese is the only one that's in Hong Kong area.
Bob would learn that if it was modernized, because Cantonese is the language of business, and well, at least it was.
All right. So all of you kind of leave and get out of the stagecoach?
I did ask, is Francesca coming with us since this is her tribe?
Yeah.
All right.
She's coming.
Probably best to let her kind of lead things, because this is her tribe.
Was not her Karen, though.
Still, they might be more receptive to one of their own than us.
All right. So you see that the stagecoach turns around and kind of seems to turn around and kind of ride off into a grove of trees, and the trees kind of get a little bit bigger and smaller again. And you don't sit.
They're effectively hiding in a bush.
Never works.
And everybody roll your willpower difficulty of let me see, it's his. I gotta check his stats. Difficulty of an 8. Difficulty of an. Difficulty
is this fear-based?
No, it's not fear-based. Don't worry. Yeah, you guys got all kinds of cool gifts for that.
Yeah. I was thinking if I ever learn Wail of the Banshee and I'm with Bob and Kate, they'll be immune to it.
That's true.
Hey.
Hey.
Got a combo going on.
All right, one, Kate, 2. Okay, John. Wow. Okay. All right.
Nothing from me tonight.
All right, Bob. You completely forget about the direction on where the stagecoach went. RB, you remember vaguely it kind of went east. Kate, you remember it kind of went into the bushes. John, you can still see the thing fairly clearly. It's almost like it's a chameleon. You can see it, but you can make out its shape, but that's
the guy with the lowest willpower gets the most successes. How the fuck's that work?
And the guy with the highest got the worst.
Wow.
So as far as you're concerned, Bob, he Caboose Batoon did a great job.
Nice.
So you feel very confident. Francesca also looks kind of has the same impression as RB. She goes, "Wow, all right, that's why he's a legend, I guess." You all end up walking into. Some of you will remember this from last season.
So this is an actual town?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think I've been here.
No. I think this was like the season. This was actually the episode directly before you started playing, I think. It was the one where the girls were floating in the water.
Oh, okay. No, I was at this one.
Yeah.
I just don't remember going in the town.
Yeah. Yeah, you were in the water. Yeah. You see, as you guys were, you see a SAG that a man you recognize. I don't have a picture for him. Octave Simmons. He's actually it's a kind of an old gruff, kind of broad-chested farm woman. You know, Octave is. She's the Karen warder for Sunny Hill.
Okay.
She immediately kind of starts walking towards you guys and sees Francesca, and she kind of lights up and smiles a bit, and then she kind of sees you and kind of narrows her eyes a bit, and then she kind of nods a bit. And
then I smile.
You trying to scare her?
She's my shiny silver tooth.
Better to eat you with, my dear.
Francesca says, she smiles and says, "Octave." And she runs up and kind of like gives her a hug, and they seem to be talking a bit, and she kind of points back to the four of you, and Octave nods, and starts walking towards the town. And Francesca says, she's going to talk to Church and let them know that we wanted to come in.
Whoa, the Sept Leader's name is Church?
Yeah, Church Broadhope.
Lord. Goody two-shoes alert.
Yeah, man, when you change your name to Fighty McPunch.
My name's Mick Fiona, McWolf. My name's McWolf. My name's Dricky McWolf.
Hey. Cheers to that.
About 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes or so later, you see Octave kind of waves her hand forward, and Francesca says, "All right." She walks on in with the rest of you. As you get in, you go into the church itself. Is kind of like the middle of the town, and you see, and you recognize John and Jebediah and Bob recognize Church Broadhope right away. You also know his daughter Elmira, who is the gatekeeper. Elmira, who's the gatekeeper, and sitting kind of like next to Church, as Church is kind of sitting at a large chair, almost like a where a minister would sit, up on the pew up on the pulpit, with the chairs behind there. You recognize right away Jesse, the young Lupus. Not so young anymore, as it has now been since you all abandoned. Well, since Harrowgate now has been a Stagecoach now for a little over 3 years. It's been a little over 3 years that your journey's been going on now.
Well,
seriously?
Yeah. If you remember how I say, like 3 months here, a couple months here, especially in some of your times when you went well overseas into different places.
So Kate's now 20. That's interesting.
I'll inform my butler.
You're getting a little ripe.
She's good to go.
Got about another 6 months of good left in you, and then
how is it I haven't shot Bob yet? I mean, seriously.
That's the reason why it's a good thing that the Stagecoach is actually almost infinite in size on the inside, so you guys have a lot of space to
get away from each other.
Get away from each other.
Speaking the truth. I'm
All
here
right.
for Gaia.
Church kind of sits up, and he says, the prodigal children have returned.
How have things been since our river shenanigans?
Actually, I'm going to refine. Jesse, I apologize. I forgot. Jesse is not there. She is not there. It's just Church and Elmira inside the church. He says, Octave mentioned briefly, and rumor is swirling around all the Septs on what the right of the still skies entails. But he kind of smiles and he says, "What brings you back here? There are no legends here, and I'm the only elder here."
We're looking for breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Amos's mother.
He kind of moves in his seat a little bit. He kind of looks a little uncomfortable, and he says, "Oh." He kind of, and then he thinks about it and he nods and he says, "So you're looking for Victoria?"
Let's just start. We haven't been turned down, but I'm sure there's many legends. But this is the place we thought to come first.
She would be the most amiable. She's in a way she's connected to your cairn, to Harrowgate, because of her son. And she hasn't been around for years. No one's the last that anybody has heard of her is that she's been in the summer country.
Isn't that what Francesca said? Somebody told us that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Caboose.
Yeah, Caboose Batoon told you guys that.
Caboose said she was in the Summerlands. Yeah. Bonar knew what's up.
He says, and there are many people who say that the summer country is the equivalent of the closest thing the Garo have to heaven. And there are well over half of our population believes it doesn't even exist.
Well, then it may even also, if you think and if you see what's been going on across the world, then it might be in danger if she's there.
So you know what it takes to go there, and I have to admit that not even I have that capacity of going to the summer country. I don't have that kind of love in my heart to allow me to go there.
Is there a way to get messages there? To heaven, is there a way to pray?
Like some sort of traveling prayer, maybe?
Actually, Bob was whereas you think he might not be serious when he says that, he is actually pretty serious, since I'm assuming he's talking to a reverend, and he just described it as heaven. I go, that's how you talk to heaven, right?
The only way to send messages there is to actually align yourself with a spirit who would go there. But in those situations, it would take years for those messages to go through. You need to find someone who is pure of heart, who has love for all creatures. You would have to find someone to go to summer country on your behalf and send that message. Having a Garu go is more direct. You could send out a half a dozen to hundreds of spirits with the same message, and it's more like a shotgun. And if you spread it wide enough, you might hit your target. Whereas sending one Garu in, you have a much higher chance and a more direct and sudden chance of getting that message there, because it's a Garu realm.
Yeah. Trying to think back if we've met anybody.
You see Elmira whisper in his ear. Does anybody have any heightened senses, or anybody have
Spirit of the Prey?
Anybody have any ways to hear someone whisper at all? Anybody have?
I have eavesdropper's ear.
Okay. What does that do?
Let me take a look here.
John, coming in with a save, coming in with a 13 hours, the 11th hour save here.
Yeah, but you didn't spot the sniper.
By listening carefully, a Bastet may hear things outside the normal human range or understand something spoken some distance away. This is said to be a gift from whispers. A simple perception plus enigmas roll, difficulty 6, boosts the cat's hearing into the high and low sonic spectrum. And adds 2 dice to her perception die pool.
Do you have to roll? You have to spend something?
The gift lasts 1 scene and makes the Bastet susceptible to sudden loud noises, which might inflict 1 to 3 half levels of normal damage in extreme cases. No, there's nothing to spend, just the roll.
All right. So you see, all right, don't worry about what's your die pool for that?
Perception enigmas is 4. 3. My die pool is 3.
3?
Yeah. It's just perception.
You got this. You only needed 4 to get the previous roll.
All right, difficulty of a 6.
Yeah.
Use a willpower. Seems important.
Yeah, use a willpower.
Barney, I got Berserker. Will that help?
You hear just the blood pumping in your ears. Just perception? That's too bad. Make a perception. What's your alertness?
Alertness is 3, so it'd be 6 on perception alertness.
All right, make it a perception alertness roll. That doesn't seem weird to have it be. I'm gonna overrule that.
Make everything a perception alertness. The only roll we need.
All right, you see Elmira kind of bends over and whispers in Church's ear, saying, Jesse, he says, Jesse goes to summer country all the time. Why are you not offering her up? And and Church whispers back, he says, that's not my place. That's her story, not mine.
Right.
He says,
well, if I was to go there all the time, how would I get there?
I didn't look over at the cat.
Elmira looks.
I know I'm missing an ear, but did I miss something?
So what?
I do check like this just in case there was something said that I didn't hear.
Elmira kind of looks like her eyes kind of wide a bit, and Church kind of rolls his eyes and says, "Yeah."
Says what?
Says something on the line of saying about cats, this or that, and he says, "The only pure of heart can go."
I was going to say something mad, and I was going to be like, well, I don't eat bacon.
I gauge Francesca's reaction.
About the pure of heart piece?
No, about the what Jebediah picked up on, and
but Jebediah hasn't actually said he heard that. What did you say, Jebediah? You just said how to.
Well, if I was to go out of town, how would I do that? Which I'm kind of tipping my hat that I heard what they said, but
right.
Oh, I thought you.
No, he says if somebody and said with that person with pure heart with the intention of going, any gate any moon bridge will open for that person, and then they can go straight to Summer Country.
How do you know we aren't pure of heart? We've been working for Gaia all this past years.
Go to a moon bridge, stand there with the intention of wanting to go to Summer Country and see what happens to the gate, to the moon bridge. If it opens for you, then you are. This isn't a hidden place. It's something where any kind of points to all of you. You are all well aware of a location being very picky on who knows of its existence. You were all part of Harrowgate, and Harrowgate picked you to be a part of it. It's the same thing with Summer Country. But Summer Country has a much higher
standard.
Well, that's yeah.
It's of Gaia, though, right?
It's of Gaia. People believe it's pure. There are many of us who know of people who've been there, and in a much younger time, I almost went, but through the jaded eyes of the years, and watching loved ones get killed, I don't believe in love with every living creature now. And he says people believe that is actually the home of Gaia in her purest form is Summer Country.
So then, obviously, this would have some sort of concern about the Storm Eater, no?
You could probably rouse everybody if there's who's ever there could come and fight with your side. But the challenge we face is getting a message to Summer Country.
So can an RB ask, do you know anybody who can go to Summer Country? Who has been to Summer Country? Who's pure of heart? I don't think anyone's actually asked him this yet.
Not directly.
He stands up and he and smooths out his jacket as he stands up, and he sighs and he says, there are in our tribe, as rare as it is to go, we probably have a tribe of people that know of it the most. There was a time where we considered the Summer Country as our tribal homeland. It's Gaia in its purest form. So yes, as a child of Gaia, of my years and renown, I do know people that have gone to Summer Country.
Do you know anyone who would want to play a part in saving the world and bring a message for us?
He looks back at Elmira and says, I have some reading to do, and walks out of the church, leaving Elmira alone with the five of you. And
so why doesn't he want to answer my question?
Elmira says, wisdom comes from not only saying things people need to hear, but sometimes also
knowing when to step aside.
Knowing when to step aside. He says, there was something that some of you might not have known about Amos, your old Sept Leader. He wasn't a Hamid Guru, he was a Lupus Guru.
Oh, was the corpse a human? The corpse of Amos that they found?
The corpse that they found, yeah.
So that wasn't Amos.
He says he and the cub that you saved that day, Jesse, was actually one of his daughters. And we've raised her here, as you know. And she's very close to her grandmother. And she's also, and she's walking you guys out of the church. And she says, and not only is she very close to her to her grandmother, she's also very curious of the humans. And she likes to study humans a lot. And she points north towards Gold Springs. I need to go continue reading with my father. And I wish you all luck on your journey.
Thank you.
I'll ask you, is there any place in town where she likes to hang out a lot when she's here?
She's a very curious cub. And
Where does she sleep when she's here?
she's here. She spends a lot of her time learning more about humans. And she smiles towards Bob and she says, a lot has changed in the 3 years since you've all left. Since you've left Gold Springs.
A lot in Gold Springs has changed.
Yeah. It's changed enough. It's changed enough where a young wolf can roam freely through the streets.
Is Madam Gibbons still there?
She left shortly after all of you. If there's a fear of her, the spirits are very closely tied with us since the removal of Harrowgate. Many of the spirits have kind of connected with us and also have connected with Blackstone.
So it's
we're sharing the burden. We share the burden with the Wendigo on keeping these lands pure now, with keeping them free of worm influence. Harrowgate left a pretty big empty hole in this area.
So you say wolves can walk.
Barney, I'm going to go to Lupus and head towards the north of town and see if I can pick up her scent.
Okay.
How does she know her scent?
I was going to say,
I was trying to figure out if she's going north a lot, she's going to be the only scent really going north.
Well, and, and you smell Octava as well. I mean, there's Garrow. You get Garrow smells all kind of all. It would have to get you enough to kind of leave.
Well, that's what I
Sunny
was
Hill.
asking. Where does she sleep in town? I'm trying to get a place where I can get her scent.
Okay, I see. Yeah, yeah. She shows you where she sleeps.
So once I get her scent, I'll attempt to track her.
Okay. Yeah, you get a smell, and you kind of smell. It's new since this morning of her trail, heading north towards Gold Spring.
What do you mean a wolf can just walk through the city streets? Speak more clearly. Are you a Galliard? If I don't know, I'll ask her.
She says, Elmara says, it's been 3 years since you've all been there. And
RB sees Bob boiling a little bit.
Easy.
You actually, it's actually really hard for you to get angry. There's something about in the presence of a Child of Gaia, Karen. It's annoyingly peaceful to you as an arrow.
Oh, it's so great how I'm not getting answers. I feel really calm.
What was Gold Springs like before? What was Gold Springs like before? Was it like...
Since they're going to stand there and interrogate, I'm going to head north following her scent.
Okay.
They can catch her.
Don't split the party.
So I know I'm new to this whole living in Garrow society thing, but when a Garrow dies, they assume their natural form, right?
Yeah.
So if Amos's corpse was Hamid, was human, then that wasn't Amos, and Amos is still alive?
Amos died. Amos died during that time, but we don't know. We know the spirits tell us that he died. But there was that body there that was not that was dressed in his clothes. That wasn't him.
Intriguing.
He kept it a secret from everybody in Harrowgate that he was actually a lupus because he felt it was better. It was better for the morale of the town to have a human lead, a human Child of Gaia.
Well, how did he actually die then? Should we go avenge him again?
His spirit's at rest. His spirit's been at rest for a decade.
Breadcrumbs the pup.
Okay.
All right.
So I roll my perception survival.
All right, it's headed straight towards Gold Springs.
Okay.
That's where the smell is.
All right, I'll just follow at my quickest pace, so I can keep the scent. They can catch up. They know my scent well enough to follow me.
All right. Well, are we following?
Yeah. Is that where you're going?
I don't know. Who's the boss now? Bob?
Yeah.
Who's the boss? Tony Danza. No, Sag, was it you or Craig that always did the Tony Danza impression?
Well, considering between the three of them, when their heads collide, there's a hollow thump. I'm figuring not much is going to get done.
Oh, boy. Let's follow her righteous smell.
All right. What form are you all in?
I'm in lupus.
With one clockwork leg.
That's right. That's awesome. Yeah. You're all steampunked out now.
Yeah.
All right. It takes you about, I would say, two. It's a good haul. I would say it probably takes you guys about a couple hours, in Lupus form to get there.
Is that Woodford, RB?
Gentleman Jacks.
Oh.
Because Arby's a gentleman through and through.
That is the last word I would ever describe Arby as.
How little you know me.
As you get to, you notice, as you guys get closer and think that the thing that you guys could roll your perception alertness difficulty of a 6. As you roll that, I'm going to be right back in 2 seconds. I'm just going to grab some water.
Good God, Bob.
I didn't even look at it yet. Oh, but it's a -2 difficulty since we're in Lupus. So let me see what I got.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Oh, it still doesn't matter. I still fail.
6, 2.
Yeah, there's something not right. Like,
so I got 5 successes.
I got 4 then.
No, you got 3.
3, yeah. Fucking ones, man. It's like you roll them more than 1 out of every 10.
Unless difficulty 6 is with the -2 already.
Oh, maybe he did interpret that before he gave us difficulty.
no, but it's in Marty's interest to actually get us to engage as a group. I hate the Children of Gaia. They are the worst tribe.
All right. Bob doesn't notice anything. Okay? I'm going to mute John's character. John, can I do that? Yeah, okay, that's a bit easier.
Stayed behind scratching a post or like playing with a fuzzball that was in the way.
Question, Barney. Did you give us, because since we're all in Lupus, our difficulties to perception are -2?
Right.
Did you already take that into consideration?
I did not.
So I actually have 5 successes, not 3.
All right.
Because the difficulty should be 4 then.
Yep, that's true. All right, and RB would be 3 successes.
Was your intention to give me a -3? Because even with that gift, I still fail.
Yeah. All right, so but yeah, Bob still fails. All right. So Bob, you're just probably you're more enthralled by the fact that
your leg works.
Your leg is awesome. You're just kind of watching the gears move and how smooth it is. RB, 3 successes. You notice as you guys are getting closer to the town. Don't worry about the people in those pictures. All right, for now, okay. That's just the map of Gold Springs. You notice that you don't see any tracks or you don't hear any noise or commotion as you guys are getting over the knoll towards the town, and you see on the west side of the town complete and utter destruction and of the buildings, and you don't hear any noise of anybody. And with 6 successes, or 5 successes, Kate, it's very clear to you that Gold Springs is completely abandoned, and it looks like it's been abandoned for years. The entire town is empty.
Real estate prices are probably good.
If they're following me, they probably see the fur on the back of my neck go up. My hackles kind of go up.
Okay.
I'll tell them the town's abandoned.
Yeah.
Bob, pay attention. Quit looking at your leg.
I said, yeah. I wouldn't imagine that it was going to repopulate. It was wrecked last time. Apparently.
Am I still picking up her scent?
Yeah.
All right, I'll continue to follow it.
Yeah.
I'm actually, Barney, I'm going to roll Luna's armor.
All right. Bob, you see off in the distance, you see the train station that you helped build now 7 years prior, just smashed windows, clapboards, hanging and falling off. A couple small trees have turned into giant overgrown bushes. One's growing through one of the windows.
The tractor's still in use, right?
The what? The tracks?
Yeah.
Yeah, you notice that there's been a couple of spots where something's been kind of peeled up, maybe just someone using it for using the steel or for their own purpose.
Oh, so they're not in use. Like a train could not go through here.
It wouldn't be. It's a couple spots of it, but there's also there's a couple spots where it's just completely covered in sand.
Yeah. Bob, can't you touch the railroad and figure out what's going on or something?
Yeah.
You want to give that a go?
Well, we'll handle that in a bit. We're gonna find the.
All right.
We got to find the breadcrumb.
I'll follow her scent into town, see if I can find out where she is.
You go through there and you see, as you walk in, you see, as you kind of go into town, you see, crossing to where the bank would be, where the laundry was. You see Jesse kind of walk through, kind of like trotting down the what used to be the main drag.
I'll give a little yipe, try to get her attention.
She turns and her ears perk up, and she kind of stances herself, almost like ready to either run towards you or run away. She kind of stances herself to look at you, and she sniffs a bit.
I'll approach just at a gentle trot, not like charging her or anything. Try to keep my bearing as calm as possible.
I want to sense for him. I'm going to go to Hamid.
Okay.
And just look around see if there's anything amiss.
Okay.
Barbie's going to take the opportunity to eat some grass because he's still very hungover and he hasn't been able to fix that in Hamid form. So he's going to eat some grass to see if that helps.
Okay. Jebediah, what do you do?
I don't even know what's happening. What's happening?
You guys are back in Gold Springs, and it's Gold Springs looks like it's been abandoned for about 3 years. It's a ghost town. It's basically a ghost town. Sense Worm, you sense there's nothing overly active of Worm, but you do sense there's still some restless spirits around the area, and there's still some residual pieces from that maelstrom that came through 3 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Jesse kind of walks, and then she sees Sag turn Hamid. She sees Bowery Bob turn Hamid form, and she kind of walks towards you guys, but she kind of walks towards you guys, but at an angle to give herself an opportunity to escape if need be.
I'll stop and sit down on my haunches and just bark out, "We mean you no harm."
She says, "I don't recognize you, but I know the large pale one."
Bob, yeah, he's got a reputation. I'm sorry you've met him before.
She doesn't understand the honor of basking in the shadow of Bowery Bob.
No, because she knew you when she knew of you when you were in Gold Springs.
Yeah, I'm talking about Kate.
I am Kate. I am Kate of the Black Furies.
Are you here? You guys are here to do some treasure hunting too?
No, we're here to speak to you, actually.
But there's treasure?
Yes, RB, there's treasure. Go find it. I'm sure the bank is still filled with money. Go do a Scrooge McDuck.
Jesse says, last week I was here, I found a wheel. 2 weeks before that, I found 3 spoons.
Oh, boy.
Well, the bank is probably still intact, RB. I bet the gold still exists.
There's
if
no
there
gold.
Was any.
Gold doesn't sit in
you won't know until you look.
For years. Anyway, go on with our mission. What are we doing?
I do mention that. I say an enterprising young lady. I'm like far off. I'm not up too close. I can respect that.
She kind of trots up a little bit closer. She actually is she's getting the closest to Bowery Bob because she's the one that knows you're the one. She knows you're the only one she knows, you and Jebediah.
Well,
go ahead and sniff butts.
She's not getting that close because she still doesn't know. She hasn't seen him in 3 years, so. But she kind of sniffs the air a bit, and she's a little bit more at ease now. She's not so guarded now, so she kind of nonchalantly kind of sits on her haunches and sits on her rear legs and says, and she looks towards Kate now, because you're about to say something, Kate, to her.
We need to ask you a favor. We need you to get a message to your grandmother in the summer country.
She perks her ears a bit and she says, Who told you about the summer country?
Everyone knows about the summer country.
Would you believe a sneaky little bastard of a bonar?
I haven't visited my grandmother in a while, but I think I'm probably due for a visit.
We need her help.
Okay. What is it you need?
We need her to help us complete a rite.
So you want her to come here?
Yes.
It's called the Rite of Still Skies. A destiny pack is forming.
So what message do you want me to give her exactly?
A destiny pack is forming to complete a rite called the Rite of Still Skies, to bind the Storm Eater so it doesn't destroy the
Gaia.
new world. What's that? Well, I
It
guess
doesn't destroy Gaia.
Full stop.
And you need her.
We need a legend from every tribe. She'll be the representative from the children of Gaia.
She nods.
so about this treasure finding.
God.
Will you be able
Kate just
to?
rolls her eyes.
No, I'm turning the conversation before she starts asking about if she's going to die or not. That's Bob is smart enough to see that coming. I'm changing her mind, or turning her thoughts. She's agreed.
If I do this, then will you be able to find some more treasure while I'm gone?
We can look.
Okay.
Anything in particular you want, or just something that the people here would have used?
She says anything that people have used.
We can certainly find something here for you that might be of interest.
It's been gone through a few times by other people, but
the most interesting stuff would probably be in Phil's place. He's probably got hidey holes all over that area.
Who's Bill?
Phil.
Oh, Phil. If he had,
yeah,
you have a place here?
Yeah, he ran the bar.
The saloon.
The Brooklyn Hotel was his. Yeah.
Phil ran a business?
Yeah.
I ran a business. I point over to the. I was the rail marshal. I go that out there is my overgrown office.
Yeah, your memories start overlapping with the actual building. You start seeing like the path that you walked on every morning heading towards Phil's saloon, his hotel. And you do see like towards where the livery stables are and the house and the Grand Hotel and the sheriff's office, City Cafe. All of those places were basically are the ones that kind of got hit with were the places that got completely destroyed in the maelstrom. The rest of the buildings were, some of them were burnt, some of them half charred, some of them were completely abandoned. But Phil's Brooklyn Hotel looked like it was standing pretty. Looked like it was still standing, still solid.
Yeah, if she's willing to take a message, I'll look around town for her.
Is there anything she wants specifically?
Seems like just interesting things that the humans here used.
So trash. Got it.
She actually nods like aggressively when you say that. She kind of leaps a bit and jumps, and then she says, "I'll be back."
We'll be here. I guess I'll head towards the Brooklyn Hotel then. I'll stay in Lupus.
All right. You go into the Brooklyn Hotel. Anybody else go in too?
I feel drawn to the train station.
Okay. RB.
What else is in this town? Is there
There's 2 banks.
I'll go look through the banks.
Okay. All right, Jebediah.
I'll go to the Brooklyn Hotel.
Okay. So Jebediah, do you want to explain what because you've been in there before? Do you want to explain to Kate what the Brooklyn Hotel looks like?
I don't think I could.
So explain it, just how you imagine what it looks like.
It's very Western. It kind of has an open salon kind of area, like the lounge is kind of open, and kind of has like what would you call that? Like a balcony that goes around, and then hallways that head off of the balcony. Not a big hotel. This isn't a big town, so it's not a big hotel. But the rooms are kind of spacious. Kind of woodworking inside. Some things that look like they're brass, but they're probably just plaster painted with like lead paint to be kind of shiny. So.
In other words, gaudy.
Gaudy, yeah. I mean, nice. That's what we like to call it. European.
Well, knowing what I know of Phil, I can imagine it's my accurate description would be trashy, but
so and you do see that there's a the thick level of dust, on all the furniture. There's a couple of chairs and tables have been overturned a bit, and you see a lot of the bottles of alcohol are gone. The only thing that hasn't been taken are like 3 bottles of wine, because wine is just way too frou-frou for anyone out here. So no one took those.
I'll go to Hamid and put in my pack.
Okay. And the
Film Chateau.
Okay.
Where's Phil's office?
Jebediah?
I'll ask Jebediah, where's Phil's office?
I'll walk up there.
All right. And so you go back into Phil's office?
Yeah, I'm assuming Jebediah knows where it is, so I'm just going to follow him.
Yeah. You go into his office. You see it's been ransacked a bit. His desk doors have been opened up, and
only I can take a picture to show Phil later.
And you see that there is a stick of dynamite sticking into the tape to the safe that hasn't been lit.
Okay.
Light her up.
It's like one of those adventure video games where like you walk into those rooms and you're trying to find something and you see stick of dynamite sitting there next to a safe. Do I light it? Do I not light it?
I'll ask Jebediah. You don't happen to know the combination, do you?
I go find some matches and drop them at his feet.
I'll take that as a no.
Just like put it and go. Just walk off in chapel and come back with matches in my mouth and just go. And then push him with my paw forward.
All right. Do you light it?
If he wants to, I'll leave the room. Not going to stay in there, that's for sure.
And after pushing forward, I just run out of the room.
We got a couple of engineers over there.
Yeah, I'm sure the other two hear a loud boom. It's like, what the fuck are they doing?
All right. So flashed over to our good friend Bowery Bob. You walk into your. You want to go ahead and explore your old train station?
Yeah. I actually put it in order.
Okay.
That's I feel like really like wounded, I guess, kind of.
Yeah.
So I actually pull the weeds. I know I can't repair glass and shit like that, but I put my office in order, and anything that has to do with the rails out there.
Okay.
That's kind of what I do.
All right. Yeah, you see, like your office was, obviously also ransacked, looking for something, but the papers are like faded and yellow, like really, really yellow. Any of the papers that you had there, some of them kind of got blown up into because of where the windows where the windows were broken. Sand and dust and sand and things, and there's some good spots there where there's like animal shit from wild animals, and you see that all the papers that were left in the room that can be ransacked kind of being blown into like one corner of the office, and it's on the papers getting faded, and there's some water damage outside on some of the parts of the untreated wood in some of the rooms that had some windows smashed.
Did anybody take the because maybe they don't know what it is, but my telegraph machine?
No, your telegraph machine's still there.
All right, I'll get that for the little girl. But what I do is even if it takes me like a long period of time, I clean everything up. I board up everything just so it can't be defiled anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, unless they come, I guess I hear the explosion, but unless someone comes running.
All right.
I'll look for, if I hear an explosion, that's reasonable enough to look in that direction and see if there's any like yelling or anything like that. But yeah, that's what I do.
All right. So Ryan, you go into the bank?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's in there? Anything left?
It's you see one of the teller booths seems to have been pried off of its hinges, and you see that inside the bank door itself was opened, and it's been torn through pretty vigorously. Years ago. Like, this hasn't happened recently, but it's been years ago. And you see that there's you see kind of like similar situations. You see that there's thick layer of dust on places that windows are smashed. There are certain places that you see that there's maybe places that had glass or some metal that were worth anything have been taken off, like some of the wall sconces. You see that there's pictures that are missing. There's some graffiti painted on it. On some of the names have been crossed out with paint. You don't see if anything of any worth that is worth your time because you're already pretty well off.
Are there little coins of small denominations lying around?
Yeah, there's enough that just for that you would you might consider like knickknacks or souvenirs.
Yeah, I'll take I'll try to find one of every denomination coin and
Okay.
just grab it and make it a little pile and give that to Jesse.
Okay. All right. So Bob and RB, you guys hear an explosion. It's really close to you, RB, and you hear an explosion in the town. Bob.
I will say shit in Lupus and run towards the explosion.
Okay.
Or I guess I'm in Hama now if I'm picking up coins.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta be.
Like I said, I listen for screaming and signs of battle or yelling.
Nope. I don't know. Tell me what happens, Kate and Jebediah.
Oh, I ran out of the building. I was like outside of the building, just like looking up. And,
all right, Kate. We're gonna role play this out. I want you to roll your Dex Athletics.
I'm just out in the hallway. I'm not gonna run all the way out of the building.
Okay.
One stick of dynamite. It's not like a pack.
No. Okay. Roll your Dex Athletics. I'll make it easy. Difficulty of a 6. I want to see if you botch this. I want to see what happens.
This is Old West dynamite. This is going to level this entire town.
Well, I rolled 4 in my Lunar's armor, so I'll probably be okay.
All right. What'd you roll? Was that? No. Yeah. Go ahead. Roll Dex Athletics. You got to run out of the room. Okay.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it'd take that much to run out of the room.
I know. This is the point where I want to see what happens with the dice rolls. I want to see if you end up failing that, then getting a battle scar for lighting a stick of dynamite at Phil's safe.
One success.
One success. All right. Stick of dynamite. What's the damage on a stick of dynamite? Whatever it is, I'm gonna half it. So wait, you rolled how many on Luna's armor?
I rolled 4 in Luna's armor, so my total soak right now is 8.
Never mind, you're not gonna get hit. You get blown out of the room, though. You get blown out of the room. You got some singed fur.
Well, remember I'm in Hamid, so I'll just dust myself off.
Okay.
My black duster, I'll just kind of dust it off.
And you see the safe is creaking. The safe door has been blown enough it can be pried open.
All right, I'll go to Krenos and just rip it off.
Okay. You see a good stack, a nice rolling stack of cash.
All right, I'll go back to Hamid and take it. Any files and stuff in there?
Yeah, you got some files. There's some files in there.
I'll take them.
Okay.
Read them.
Oh, I'm going to. Get some blackmail on Phil? Absolutely. I'll clean out the safe. I'll also search what's left of his office.
All right. You go through his stuff. What do you have in resources? Do you have a background in resources?
I have nothing in resources.
Give yourself 1 in resources now, and I'm taking 1 in resources away from Phil.
Yeah. And then again, is he still on RB and I's level?
What do you mean your level?
Of resources.
No.
He has a 3 in resources. Now he has a 2 in resources.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But to be fair to him, I'm gonna give him something else on his background even it out for him. Yeah.
I've got some spending cash. Look at that.
Stealing from our leader.
He abandoned it. I'm Ragabash. I don't care.
All right. So Phil, so Bob, what do you do? Did you do anything? Or you didn't hear any screaming or anything?
I guess if I don't hear any like shooting or signs of anything like that, I'm pretty focused on putting the world back in order.
All right.
I'm reveling in the Weaver.
That's true. That's very. Yeah. Okay. I got you. All right.
Once I kind of get that, I'll wander back into town, but I'll still keep an eye or an ear out.
All right. You sense a presence. You sense someone looking at you, Bob.
I sense a presence.
Yeah, you sense somebody looking at you
without even a roll.
I'll look around the room, or is it a spiritual? I'll sense
no.
Weaver.
You sense Weaver because it's the train station.
Okay.
You see out the wind, so through a couple panes of glass at the actual waiting area for the train. That it's like that kind of like an open area. It's still covered. It's like a covered place, but it's there's a roof, but there's no walls. It's because that's where the train station is.
Yeah.
You see Sacred Ghost looking at you, and it looks like he has a large leather sack.
Okay. I'll come out.
Let him kick your ass so he can become level 6.
I greet him.
He nods to you and he says,
"Are you ready?"
Yeah, he says, Chaska told me you were coming today.
I nod.
And he says we could meet halfway here.
Well, they're back in town gathering our Children of Gaia. I can finish up this later. After what I hear that you intend to do, if you would have me, and there isn't some other, I look at him, some other calling, I want to be at your side.
When we face the worm head on.
I nod.
I think that would be, he says, I think that would be appropriate. And we will leave it off for there. All right, everybody give yourself 3 experience. Basically you guys are going to wait. You have about 48 hours as you have about 48 hours before the stagecoach it can be seen again, that they find it, and your good friend, who's, as I said, kind of has become the unofficial leader of the other legends, the only Philodox there, Professor James Steelbrand, makes it clear that we can't stay in one place too long. So without getting Victoria Truth Talker, he says she'll find us. You did what you were supposed to do. You were able to get someone to give her the message, and it's going to be her and we will reach out. She'll find us. She knows that we're looking, and we've made that connection to her. He basically says we can't stay in this. We can't stay here any longer.
How are we going to get our tchotchkes to Jesse?
Just leave them out. It's not like anyone's going to come by and steal them.
Your scent is all over it, you guys. She'll find it. You kind of make deliberate pause. You see that nobody is. She is the only strong scent in that entire town. There's some random ones, but there hasn't been a human scent in that town that you haven't. None of you are adept at smelling that good enough to know. It's the best you can do is probably smell a few months back, and you don't smell anything. I'm
going to read all these files.
Okay.
I do want to ask the professor one thing.
Okay.
What are the Iron Riders pack called? The Stormbreaker pack?
The Stormbreaker, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to try and contact them. I think Phil and I were talking about that our tribe might be able to get some information from the spirit about the worm, about how it's moving, and I don't know. I'd like to work a little more in tandem with them. I know that you're not 100% on board with what they're doing, but they've already made their intentions clear.
If this is within earshot of Kate, she will simply say they're honorless curs and don't trust them.
As she's weighed down by her boss's cash.
Professor Steelbrand says that they're working on with the assumption that the Weaver spirit that's connected to it still has its own sentience. We don't know that unless we're actually next to the Storm Eater to know if it's been swallowed into being a part of it, or if it's actually a symbiotic with it. If it's symbiotic with it, yeah.
So is Sacred Ghost coming with us now?
Yeah.
Cool. Is he?
You guys went there to get you guys succeeded in what you're supposed to do, basically. Is to get a rank 5. You got a rank 5 Wendigo with you, who know that Wendigos are just so upset with all the other Geru Nation. They don't want a part of it. The reason why you have Sacred Ghost is because he knows you guys.
So he's not bringing any muscle or any followers. Just him.
Just him. Yeah.
He's Aaron?
No, he's a third.
What tribe? I know he's Wendigo, but I mean, what Native American tribe is he?
Sioux.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I like that he has me.
Knowing that I will greet him in Sioux.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Renown.
Cunning, both for giving Kate kind of reply, please, raccoon, to have that little trick happen and blow stuff up, and for kind of listening in on the conversation.
Okay.
That's I don't know, good wisdom, but it's cunning for cats.
Okay. All right, go for it. Give yourself 3 cunning. All right.
I'm fishing for honor with the train station.
I'll give you. Yeah, you know what? That was a very Iron Rider thing to do. So you do get honor for the Iron Riders for that. Give yourself 2 honor.
Did we do smart things tonight? Are we wise?
Other than the cartoonish dynamite debacle.
I think we artfully.
Yeah, I led the search for her.
Yeah, give yourself 1 honor for that. Well, Arby, what'd you do?
What did I do? Let's see. I finally
he did get a gift for the girl.
I got a gift. Yeah, that was cute. I also was the only person to actually ask, "Do you know anybody who can go into the Summerlands?"
That's
which
true.
resulted in them telling us that yes.
Give yourself 2 wisdom.
All right.
Arby, what do you need to hit rank 2?
I need now 1 more honor and 2 more wisdom.
Wow. All right.
Close. But no.
It's the wisdom that's going to cause you problems.
I have lost wisdom in the past.
Any wisdom for turning the conversation before she started asking too many questions?
No.
Okay.
That was just good role playing.
I need 1 more dot and something.
We don't get anything for gathering tchotchkes for the nice little lupus.
Give yourself. Everybody, give yourself. If you're collecting stuff for her, living things out for her, give yourself 1 honor.
All right.
Sag, because you did something, Sag. I think that was everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I got her the.
Yeah, I'll see if I can.
Telegraph.
Yeah. I'm sure I can find her a shot glass in the bar.
Yeah. All right. Good. Anything else? That was 1 cunning for you then too, John. So.
Wisdom for suggesting that he hide at the beginning. That my crazy hot uncle. I'm cognizant of the fact that people are after us. I guess.
Nah.
I'll never make 5th before this is over.
How much do you need for wisdom?
I don't know. I'm assuming I need way more wisdom than I have. I've got a 3 in wisdom right now.
I don't think so. You might be pretty good. I think it's the honor you need. I think you're pretty set with wisdom. You don't need much to be a rank 5 air rune.
You're an air rune, right?
Yeah.
You need 3 wisdom.
3
wisdom. You need 3 wisdom, 8 honor, and 10 glory.
Oh, so I only need. It's only 3 wisdom, really?
Yes. You don't need to be smart to be a rank 5 air rune.
I need 3 more dots of honor, and I go 5th then.
Really?
I have 10 glory, 7 honor, and 3 wisdom.
Wow. Have you ever played a rank 5 Garo before?
No,
Oh.
I never played a rank 4. Reg made it to third, I think. He was my longest.
I need 5 more boxes to get another honor, and then I'll be third.
You know, with this
I have
party,
12.
I'm close enough to know that I'm going to get posthumous 5th, so that makes me happy. It comes down to it.
All right, guys. All right, look at that. We just ended right on the exact right time, too.